I'll start with my first question. So perhaps one of the most popular questions regarding China's economy, currently facing problems such as environmental depletion and heavy pollution, as well as rising labor costs, is whether it will continue to grow or pop like a bubble soon. What do you think is the greatest challenge to China's economic growth? And if China's economy is slowing, would it pose a greater threat to U.S. fiscal sustainability than a rapidly expanding one, due to a possible shift to focus in potential escalating conflicts in the Asia-Pacific?
That's a big,
Loaded
that's more like
question.
25 questions. Well, the basic proposition is that the Chinese economy is slowing. I agree with that. We have expected that for a very long time. So this is not something that comes out of the blue. The 10% plus growth rate that we have had in the first decade of this century is clearly not sustainable. It was very heavily dependent on investment, on capital accumulation, to the point where the marginal return on capital was declining. So it's natural for a country like China to have a period of very rapid growth driven by investment, but that has to come to an end. We have seen other countries that have had a similar growth pattern: Japan, Korea, Malaysia, and Singapore. So all that is quite natural. The consequences of a slower growth rate in China are very important for China, but also for the rest of the world, because China has become such a huge part of the global economy. It's the world's largest exporter and will soon be the world's largest importer. So slower import demand from China means enormous depressing effect on commodity markets. And the countries that will be mainly affected by that are Australia, Canada, Argentina, Brazil, Indonesia, basically the commodity exporters. I look upon the slower growth rate in China actually as a very positive thing. I think there's a very high probability that China will succeed over time in changing its growth model towards greater dependency on domestic consumption growth. We see the beginnings of that already happening, as one of the speakers was pointing out this morning. I've done a lot of work on that myself and published a number of articles making the same points. So I don't think that we should look upon the slowdown in China with regret. We should welcome it as a positive thing. Ultimately, it will make growth in China more sustainable, and with the shift from manufacturing to service sector development, with the demographic pressures that will lead to higher wages, you will get a more healthy growth pattern and a more sustainable growth model in China, which will ultimately also be good for the world.
Right, thank you.
And here's the second question. China's political leader Xi Jinping has studied shortly in Iowa in 1985.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Yeah, China's new political leader.
New
political leader. Yeah.
The new political leader, yeah.
Yeah, Xi Jinping, whose name, studied shortly in Iowa in 1985, and revisited the U.S. in 2012. Would you expect that there would be any changes in China's foreign economic policy towards the U.S.? And how would that change affect the bilateral trading relationship between the two countries?
There is indeed a sentiment in the U.S. that Mr. Xi Jinping is friendly to the U.S. and that his interest in local conditions in Iowa already many years ago is a good thing, that he will approach this very important bilateral relationship from a very intelligent human perspective. So in the United States there is a very sort of sense of optimism about the orientation of the new top leader. Whether his visit to Iowa will turn out to be as important as some people think. We don't know. There are many stresses in the relationship between the United States and China. There are many people, as some of the speakers pointed out, in the United States who still don't really understand China, who have total wrong ideas about what's going on, as there are in China many people who have the wrong ideas of the United States. All I can say is that the Sino-US relationship is extremely important for both countries and for the rest of the world. It's probably the most important bilateral relationship in the world. The fact that there are so many stresses, so many tensions in the relationship should be a cause for concern, because it can get worse. And I'm a little bit afraid it may get worse. The reason why I think so is that a lot of the respect for the United States in China has gone down. The American star is not what it used to be in China. The financial crisis of 2008 has done a lot of damage to America's standing in China. Many Chinese leaders, intellectuals, educated people in general, are totally puzzled how a rich country like the United States can mess up things so badly. And it has definitely led to a situation in which the US now is less attractive to China than it used to be. So that can lead to a greater distance in the relationship. It can lead to a change in attitudes on the part of the Chinese towards the United States, towards the West in general. And most probably that will be in the direction of greater distance, more tension. So there is I think it's logical to expect that China's rise and America's stagnation and the crisis of 2008, all these factors in combination, will lead to an even more stressful bilateral relationship in the years ahead. Let's hope Mr. Xi Jinping can manage the situation.
A major problem that is not well regulated in